Hey guys, it's Mana here, and today we're going to be reading The Bottom of the Well. My understanding is that you're playing as Alice, who wakes up from a dreadful dream, and you get to retell it to your friend, I guess. And there are a bunch of different endings, and one playthrough takes as little as 20 minutes is what they said, although there are multiple endings, so I wonder how to get all the different endings. But for now, we're going to do what we always do when I do these visual novels. We're going to play and see how much I fuck up and see if I get a Forever Alone ending again. We'll do default Alice. The default Alice is capable of finishing the game to its true ending, but not necessarily through all branches. This Alice is career motivated, friendly, somewhat lazy, a hopeless romantic with no survival skills at all. She makes up for it by being a good organizer. Alright. Accept and start. Oh. Dream Diary. September 13th, 2015. Today I had the weirdest dream of my life. Whoa, hi. Morning, A. Morning. Do I click? Did you catch the anniversary reading last night? Can I click? No. Well, no, I tried, but I fell asleep. Listen, about that. You fell asleep? Oh, come on, Alice. Oh, come on. Alice in Wonderland is like our favorite. Let me finish. Something happened. I was tuning in on my radio. You're such a ludit. Amazing, I can even catch you online. Shut up. I'm not a ludit, whatever that is. Ludite, I don't know. I just like analog things. Anyway, I was tuning into the broadcast, and I must have hit the AM switch or something, because suddenly the channel changed to something else. What? Aliens? Uh-oh. Government-run number stations? No, it was this weird, white noise at first. It's hard to explain why I was so drawn to it. I could hear snippets of some melody, maybe lyrics, but the signal was weak. So you turned it off and continued looking for the Alice broadcast. So I went out on my balcony and turned the antenna around until the signal came through clear. It now sounded more like music, with the odd signal in the background. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppily dead, and the White Knight is talking backwards, and the Red Queen's off with her head. Oh, so somebody's pirate radio broadcast of golden oldies? It felt like there was something else there, some message that the music was hiding. I know it sounds weird, and then I fell asleep. What a story. No, hear me out. I dreamed, and I didn't know I was dreaming. Do you understand? It was entirely lucid, but like waking up in another world, except I didn't think of it as another world. Does this make any sense? You had a super lifelike dream where you didn't know you were dreaming, but you were still lucidly in control. Sounds pretty rad to me. I'm sure it would have been, except for the whole end of the world apocalypse bit in the dream. Okay, now you've got my attention. Whoa! Things happening! Oh, I didn't get to read the dream diary. So, like I said, it was the end of the world. Everything I did that day felt like the real thing. Every smell, every sound, every color, every touch. It's important you know that I wasn't acting like I would in a dream. I didn't know that it was a dream. Do I have to click down here? Oh, okay. Heavy. There was no warning, no build-up, nothing. Just between one moment and the next, the TV had turned to the emergency alert system, and this voice that sounded like it had been recorded in the 60s told us that we were under attack. Were you alone? Yeah. I had had a really long day at the office, so I had sworn off all social contact for the evening. I had the TV on in the background, just as noise. Wait, what? The office? You mean you got some kind of real adult person job in this dream of yours? Yeah, actually. At the college. Student admissions office. Hey, don't sound so surprised. I am going to graduate in just a few months, you know. Uh-huh. With a BA in English Lit. Shut up. Such skills with words. Anyways, what happened next? Like I said, the TV suddenly turned to the emergency alert system. Jacked the volume all the way up, too. I didn't even know they could do that. The broadcast told us we were under attack. right now, and that we needed to get to shelter. That we had less than 30 minutes before the bombs hit. Jesus, sounds scary. At first I didn't want to believe it. I switched the channel, but they were all the same. And then the sirens started. Tornado sirens, flood sirens, I don't know. And I knew things were serious. So what did you do? I went online to find out what was going on. I immediately tried to call Chess. I needed to think about my options. I tried to call Chess. Chess, who's that? My boyfriend. I mean, I don't have a boyfriend, but in my dream I did. Wait up. Tell me more about this sudden new boyfriend of yours. I thought you weren't in the dating scene. Actually, I've been thinking about putting myself out there, like maybe some online dating or something. Well, I'm kind of afraid to check OkCupid right now. If there's a guy there named Chess. My experiences with OkCupid, let's not even start. Good icebreaker. Hi, I'm Alice. I dreamed about you last night. You were my end of the world buddy. Funny. Aren't I just? You were saying about Chess. What kind of name is that anyway? I wasn't really. I mean, yeah. He was pretty hot, I guess. And smart and into me. What more could you ask for? I can sense you blushing all the way over here. Maybe I should check my OkCupid profile, actually. So, what did your boyfriend think? Well, first I tried calling him, but all I got was a pre-recorded network busy message. But the net still worked, so I hit him up there. I mean, we did most of our communications in chat anyway. And I found him, but there was no time for, well, anything. I started typing, you know, holy hell, what the fuck is going on style stuff, and just tersely replied he had to go. That's a little blunt. He told me he needed to go get his sister. His sister? How come? He'd mentioned her a few times. She's disabled, but lives in a house by herself, out somewhere in the boroughs. Did he ask you to come too? He didn't ask. I did. I'm going to be outside my apartment in 5 minutes, he said, then logged off. I guess that's an invitation of sorts. So what'd you do? Well, I knew that Chess wasn't going to wait for me. If I wanted to go with him, I had to go right away. Just grab my stuff and go. Making quick decisions in the spur of the moment. Doesn't sound like you. What did you do? Went online to find out what was going on. I needed to think about my options. I went with Chess and to help him out with his sister. So I decided to go with Chess. I mean, how couldn't I? He clearly needed help. Altruistic. How long have you been dating? Cynic. Long enough to know my feelings were real. I mean, they felt real in the dream. Where did the sister live again? In a borough, practically the suburbs, so pretty far. Chess said he usually takes a subway or a bus. Chess actually lived just down the street, and we always had a customary place to meet. We didn't even need to confirm the place anymore, but it didn't seem very likely we would be able to catch a bus or the subway. So how were you planning on getting to the sister? In less than 30 minutes. Oh, spoiler, the bombs didn't start dropping on us within 30 minutes. It took longer than that. They did start, though. Click. Thank you. That's lucky. Yeah, well, it didn't mean we weren't in a hurry. But you didn't leave empty-handed, though, right? Oh, right, yes. I grabbed the biggest bag I had. A backpack. People always called it magic. You could fit so much into it. Bigger on the inside and all that. Teehee. Okay. Take the flashlight. Take the map. What is that? My university ID, except it's no longer for student, but for staff. Doubles as an electronic key card. Oh! Okay, radio is honestly necessary. Spare clothes. Sleeping bag. Okay. Go on. Burrow, sister. Bombs incoming. How did you plan to get there in the chaos? The chaos? Yeah. The streets were nuts. Everything and everyone was going crazy. Crashes everywhere, but no one was responding. The street was completely gridlocked. I'm talking maybe 15 minutes after the first announcement here. All it takes is a few cars in the wrong place. But you live pretty centrally, right? It had to be better further out. Did Chess have a car? No, but if we wanted a car, there were tons around. People just left them, keys in the ignition, and ran. Holy shit, he really must have been Bedlam. I was so scared. So, steal a car or walk? We discussed walking. It was like 14 miles or something. It'd probably take at least 4 or 5 hours on a good day. And this wasn't a good day. Excuse me. Maybe a good start, though. Things might clear up outside the downtown area, and you might be able to steal a car there. Appropriate a car. Stealing sounds so criminal. Whatever you say. Any other options except stealing, appropriating a car, and hoofing it? Something in between. I know a guy with a motorcycle. He really loves that motorcycle, but I wondered if maybe he'd be willing to borrow it. I mean, for fuck's sake, we were going to go rescue a disabled woman. You know him well? Reasonably. I didn't know you knew how to drive a motorcycle. I'm a woman of many talents. So, what did you do? We decided to try appropriating a car. We decided to walk out of the worst chaos. We decided to try with my acquaintance with the motorcycle. I feel like the acquaintance with the motorcycle is going to end up being murderized. So, I'm going to go with walk out of the worst of the chaos. I decided walking was the best option. The whole downtown area was gridlocked. Cars everywhere. People running down the sidewalks and the sirens blaring. It was like one of those disaster movies. No hope of driving anywhere at any rate. But where was everyone going? Most of them were going home, I think. People were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And there you were, running away from home. Once I made my decision, I stuck to it. No matter how much I was filled with doubt. Half an hour was nothing. Nothing at all. But luckily, that estimate was completely wrong. Sometimes I'll walk half an hour in the wrong direction just because I stubbornly refuse to believe I'm lost. I didn't know what was the right direction. But I did try to get there as fast as possible, although that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I was swept up in a mass of people and manhandled in the wrong direction more than once. Every few minutes I stopped to consult the map to make sure I was going the right direction. Was there any danger? Like people attacking each other or something? No, I thought we were all going in the same direction, but then I realized that the crowd was heading somewhere I hadn't planned to go, the subway station. What'd you do? I was swept along. It was that or get trampled or pinned against some wall. I finally managed to disentangle myself at the stalled mass of people just outside the entrance. Apparently it was closed, and people were trying to break through the gates. By the time I was out, though, I had lost a lot of time. Time, yes. Isn't that the thing you're fighting here? How far away were you planning on getting? Well, a lot farther than I had gotten at that point. I could practically still see my apartment building, but the crowd was slowly thinning at least, and I actually saw a vehicle in motion, an ambulance weaving between stalled cars with its sirens blaring. What'd you do? What I had planned. Find and appropriate a car. I kept walking, although I started looking for shelter. I kept walking, intended to get away from danger before I had to stop walking. I'm still not sure how you're ethically justifying this to yourself. I was scared out of my wits, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. Fair enough. So how did you go about it? I kind of just jumped into the first open door I found. Of course, there was no key, because the driver still had it. He had just been on the other side of the car. Seeing me sitting there, he had a mere apoplectic fit. A minor apoplectic fit, and ran at me, keys in hand. God damn it, Alice, I knew you weren't a car thief material. I panicked when I saw him coming, and went for the door. He saw me do it, and tried to stop me, but in my squirrely state, I managed to close it in his face, and then immediately lock it. Of course, he did have the key, but I managed to crawl out the passenger door before he got the door open again. Lucky, lucky. Hey, it was my first attempt at car theft, even if it didn't go very well. I'm assuming you stopped after this? I skulked around for a bit longer, but I didn't dare try another car. The next guy might have a gun in his hand, not the keys. So I finally decided to stop wasting time and started walking. Shouldn't you be finding some kind of shelter? Yes, I was actively looking while walking. No, I still hoped I could get far enough away to be out of danger. Yeah. I found myself looking over my shoulder all the time, as if the flash could come at any time. Aren't you supposed to look away from the flash? Well, yeah, but how could I not? Some warning, something. The sirens were pointless. Weren't they supposed to warn when the event was imminent? Now I'd been out here for at least an hour and no bombs yet. I think I would have just stayed at home or done just about anything but head out into the open. You do that when you have this dream. I did what I did. So how long did you risk staying out? I asked Chess what he thought, and he just shook his head. He was going to keep going. I couldn't risk it. I demanded we stop and look for shelter. I followed Chess. I'm gonna follow Chess. I can't leave him. Chess's single-mindedness was what led me. I was pretty sure this was a monumental mistake, and that we'd get caught outside and killed for sure, but I couldn't just leave him, so we kept walking. So how did that work out for you? You think it was easy? People had driven out into the sidewalks and left their cars. Everything was a mess. I tried going down the main highway, but it proved pointless, and I had to backtrack. Blah, blah, blah. I didn't say it was easy. Did you consider running? I half ran and jogged as much as I could, but it felt like being late for class. I got tired almost immediately, while the goal was still as far away as ever. Chess wanted to go faster, but he slowed down when he saw I was struggling. Then the worried look on his face went nowhere, though. And, well, once I got away from the downtown area, things were much smoother. I ran as fast as I could, as far as I could. No bombs. Still no bombs. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my luck, but I knew I was pushing it right now. What did you do? We were getting closer, so we kept walking. So did you make it? Maybe the bombs were just a scare. No, they weren't. I saw it as a glow high above the town. What? You were outside when the bombs fell? I don't know. I thought I'd have time to get away, but I just wasted too much of it somehow. I was out on the street when the initial shockwave came. There was just no duck and cover could have saved any of us there from that, I don't think. The next thing I know, I am showered in glass as every window above us shatters. Cars swerved off the road and crashed. Bedlam. And light. Bright, bright light. I tried to crawl out of the way when something hit me. Maybe a piece from a building. I don't know. I blacked out. You have a really fucked up imagination, Alice. I don't. It didn't feel like a dream. That's the thing. Because you don't wake up in dreams, do you? But I did. Bleeding, alone, out on the street. What did you see? Devastation. I saw a burning city. Ash rained down, in downtown, far too close. A mushroom cloud just staring at me in the face. It was the end of the world. I just knew that there and then. Jeez. And then there was a streak of light, and it was actually almost beautiful as it fell from space. Just a streak of light at only a slight angle. I just had time to think. No, we've had enough before it hit. For some reason, I elected to stare right at it when it impacted above the ground in a terrible fireball. Please tell me the dream ended here. Yeah, I didn't really see it though, but I died. Eventually, in the dark. And thus concluded my dream. Well, that was interesting. What do you think? I think it felt incomplete, like there was something missing. That wasn't the way it was supposed to end, you know? Dreams are supposed to end in certain ways. This one was, I think. It felt like it was trying to tell me something, but I wasn't listening closely enough. Maybe you can try again next night. See if you hear the same recording. Speaking of, what frequency was this on? That's the weird part. When I tried to see, I realized I had hit the right channel, and that it was, in fact, reading Alice in Wonderland. And this isn't exactly some obscure number station frequency on the AM bands. Well, maybe you'll dream it next night again anyway. That's the good thing with dreams. You can always dream them again. And maybe do something different the second time around? Okay, so that was the bottom of the well. Not sure what it had to do with the well, but I died. Of course, I kind of figured I would. There are a lot of different endings to this game, so I might revisit this again just to kind of see some other endings in the future. We'll see what happens. I really liked it. It was good. Maybe next time I'll actually get to read the Dream Diary. Apparently I wasn't fast enough for that. But anywho, this is a great game. It's free to play on Steam. The Bottom of the Well. It's a great game. By Red Nettle Studios. I'm logging off now. I'll see you guys later. And remember to do something nice for a stranger today. You may just save a life.